Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting episode of Java with the JIMS. My name is Jim Meyer, broker associate at Remax Gold. Now, you have a friend in the real estate business. I'm here with my good friend Jim Filippi, Esquire. I have sent him a lot of clients. None of them have gone to jail. Jim, what are you drinking this morning?
You know me, I'm Mr. Healthy. I'm just drinking my water, staying hydrated, and being good. Just in case my doctor's watching this episode today.
Absolutely, yes. My psychiatrist was watching, then he committed suicide. But I'm drinking my coffee out of my placer title mug, and I do love my coffee the way I love my women, frigid and sour.
When I'm feeling down, I can't win. Pour a strong cup of coffee and I tune in. I'm waking on up to Java with Jim. I know my best day can begin. Yeah.
A lot of people go to see you because they have problems with their title. And I've had several people who I've sent to you because we think we're going to put the house on the market. We pull up the title report, and then you look at it. You say, no, we got to go to court. Can you give me some examples, not of our exact clients, but of why somebody might have to give you a call for, and how much do you charge for that consultation?
Yeah, we don't charge an initial consultation. Those are usually they're not really much in a sense of giving legal advice. It's more of a are we a good fit or can we help you with your legal situation? So we don't charge for that. And so if you have an attorney that's charging for those initial consultations, you want to be careful working with someone.
Absolutely. So what's one, two, three examples of somebody that has a problem on their title? The preliminary title report shows something kind of weird that you have to fix.
Yeah, and I have to give credit where it's due, Jim. There's not many, sadly, there's not many real estate agents that are looking at their preliminary title reports when those are being issued by the title company. And if you're an agent, you're watching this and you don't do that, I strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you to do that. For a couple of reasons. One, you need to make sure you have clear title. If you have any issues, you want to know that sooner rather than later, because you don't want to spend time and money marketing a property that's not going to be able to sell for a certain period of time. The second part of it is you're making sure you are, your client that you're working with is the actual owner of the property. And, and that could come in some different forms. I mean, it could be one of those situations where, say it was a married couple, they owned it together with their spouse, but only one spouse was on title, and now the spouse is passed, and so the dead spouse is the title holder of the property, and you know, even though it's been their house for 20, 30, whatever how many years, they aren't the legal title holder, and they don't have the legal authority to sell it as much as they can tell you till they're blue in the face that it's their house, and I don't disagree with that. But we need to make sure title reflects that, and so sometimes that results in us having to go to court to get a court order that puts that house in their name so that it can be sold. And so I've gotten a lot of frantic phone calls from folks where they waited till the end to realize that there was a problem, and it ends up delaying the sell, and it causes a lot of problems all the way down the line, especially if there's move up buyers and there's other transactions that are dependent on it. So it's just that due diligence that I know you do, because we have those conversations a lot, and it's super important if you're working with an agent that you do work with someone like Jim, if not Jim. But I always suggest working with Jim because he checks those details and makes sure those issues are identified early before you're further down the road where you're paying for movers, and finding another house and spending money on reports, and all the other things that go into moving from one house to another, can all be avoided if there's some issues. And so it's wise to make sure that you know what you're dealing with from the start. The other part of it, this is something that I've been trying to scream from the rooftops for a long time now. And, this is advice that I give to any real estate agent that's willing to listen. And I say this, I used to be a real estate agent. That was before I became an attorney, that was the business that I was in. And I used to give this advice that I'd tell people not to give anymore. And that's, if you have a couple, a married couple that's buying a house, the advice was always, let the client take title as joint tenants. And that may not always be the best advice. And if you're a real estate agent, you're giving that advice, not to scare you to death, but you're practicing law without a license and you get yourself in some trouble. Not only that, you can give some bad advice, and if it blows up on that client in a way that costs them some money, guess who's going to get a hit on their errors and omissions insurance? And so it's just wise that if you have a client that doesn't quite understand how to take title, that you have them speak with someone like me so that I can properly advise them, especially if there's some joint ownership going on. So that we can avoid those issues that we just talked about, Jim, where we want to sell the house after a death or something along those lines. You get a little hairy if it wasn't done right the first time.
Exactly. Well, let's dig into this a little bit deeper tomorrow. You want to come back?
For sure. Let's do it.
Okay, we'll see you again tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen.